Hello and welcome to StarMade. Today we have a new build tools overhaul update that we're going to go over. There's a couple things I'm not going to cover. There is some new NPC settings and some like trading things with fleets. I'm just going to put that up on the screen and you can read it yourself. There's also a couple of various config things, and I think the main purpose of this update was actually server performance things, and the build tools kind of just got lumped in as a bonus. They're actually not fully fleshed out. They're kind of not buggy, but they do not work as advertised, so just keep that in mind as we're going through them. First, we're going to just start with a couple of miscellaneous changes. So if we come up to the these command modules from last update, if we look in the rail one, we do have now a reset rail option. Related to that, if we jump into this snow speeder over here and press the period key in flight mode, there is now a turret reset button. The last little thing to cover before we get into the build tools is a lot of these decorative blocks have been renamed to include decorative in the name, so it should be a little bit easier to search. And then we also have the decorative node here has been added in to actually be a decorative block. Otherwise, I think we're good to get in the build tools. So, first up, you press the tilde key and you get a wheel. It's actually not related to the older build tools, so there's a new wheel interface. It's similar to this wheel interface you do with tab, but this one you can kind of flick. This one is a click and it will stay there. The other one's like a click and hold. But anyway, single here is obviously the just standard block placing. Line, you can start building in free space now with a lot of these new tools. So as you can see there, make a line there. Similarly, you can just hold control to do actual building on the, the distance preview there. Whereas this, you can see the close-up preview. There is also a couple of settings. You can do increased brush size, whatever brush size you want to do that. You can do, if we go to, selection, if we load in a template here, or just anything that you copy, put it into paste, now you can use these advanced build tools to just build lines of templates. And this, I think, applies to pretty much all of the build tools. So obviously some bugs with some, but we'll get into that as we move on. Oh, the other thing, besides the brush, you can snap the line tool. So we'll do it with this. If you hold shift, as you can see, it snaps to the 45-degree angles there. You're also supposed to use scroll wheel. You can kind of see it trying up here. This is going to lock it to certain axis rotations. It is not working for the build, the line tool as far as I can tell. But if we come over to the curve tool, which is very similar, you can see when I'm scrolling it, it is, if I am holding in this tool, it is working actually in the curve tool. So you can kind of get an idea of what that's supposed to do. It's a lot more obvious when we get to the circle tool what it is doing. But back to the line tool. The other thing is if you turn on the mixer, this applies to, I think, all the tools. We actually turn on the mixer. It will mix in the blocks, obviously. I think that is everything for the line tool. So on to the box tool. This one has some issues. You can see the preview box in front of me as though you can build into free space, but obviously when you're clicking, nothing is happening. That is because it is just doing it based off of that distance preview you can see over there. So just hold control and it'll be a little bit more obvious what you're doing until it is fixed. Oh no, are we under attack? Where? What? Hello? Okay, small interlude. Well, that was awkward. We have a couple new fresh holes in our little update station. Clearly I need to add shields. But, Heart attack over. Let's get back to where we were. So we're on the box tool. I'm not going to demonstrate this for all of them, but it should work with, yeah, works with the brush tools, works with the mixer. All that, as far as I know, works. I'm also just going to show that the hollow shapes thing, that is just kind of a placeholder. It does not, whoops, does not currently function. As you can see, it's not hollow. None of them will be hollow. So that, just ignore that until it is fixed. But box tool is pretty simple. I should also just mention any of these, if you right click instead of left click, it's going to do a remove preview and then you can remove with it. But that should be self-explanatory. Onto the curve tool. So this one is a lot like the line tool. Let us fix our brush size. So as I said, you can do the axis locking, which helps with, locking it to a certain plane. Okay, we're freed up. So now this one works a lot like the curve tool in Paint, where you draw a line and then you get a third click to kind of stretch it into a curve. So that one should feel pretty natural. Onto the circle tool. So this one is different than the old build helper circle tool. If we just do a bit of this, a bit of, oh wait, that's an ellipsoid. If we go to circle, boom. Let us go into, we have to place these old build tools with the single mode on, but if we just place that there, no, if we just place that there, and then switch to the handy dandy new circle tool, which is not too handy dandy because it does not currently work. If we zoom out, this, algorithm or whatever you want to call it for drawing the circle is different. You can see it doesn't match the old one. Theoretically, this one is supposed to be, more symmetrical, although just from a quick glance here, I can see the left side doesn't seem to match. Let us... Yeah, I would hesitate... Oh, okay. Draw it out straight. No, I would hesitate to call this symmetrical, but I'll take their word for it, I guess. But even regardless of that, if you ignore the fact that the preview is clearly not symmetrical, if we draw out to this, it doesn't even work. It doesn't do it based on the preview that you're seeing. I will say this actually is symmetrical, unlike the preview, so I guess that is actually useful. But the thing is, with the circle tool, you can see, similarly with the curve tool, there's no preview in open space. With the line tool, the box tool, these you can build in open space, at least theoretically. With the box, obviously it doesn't work. The curve tool, even though you don't see the preview, it does let you build in open space. The circle tool, again, you don't see the preview, but it does let you build in open space. And similar to the curve tool, after you do that first one, it does let you build in open space. So, and like you can see the preview itself after the first click. So that does need to be fixed as well. Assuming it's not intentional anyway. But then obviously the actual building of it needs to be fixed. Let's show the snapping. So as you can see, this snapping is a lot, like I'm going to say is almost required for the circle tool, because for at least what most people use the circle tool for, they're going to want to have it being snapping. I'm still a little bit confused about the the better symmetry claims here, because I mean, just you can look at this at a glance. It is not exactly okay. Maybe it's not symmetrical, but I think rotationally it might be symmetrical. If I'm trying to look at this correctly. Yeah, it's weird. and you can see there's gaps. And either way, that actually worked. That one worked pretty well. If we go back to locking this to the axis, we just try and build it out to there. Yeah, it's weird. It's not perfect. I still prefer the old circle tool, I think. But I appreciate what they're trying to do with this one. I'm also not sure what shift is doing for this one, the snapping. It's like moving it. But I don't understand exactly what it's supposed to be doing. But I think that's partially actually probably because we're already locked. If we don't lock it, it just kind of inverts direction, maybe? No. I'm not really sure what the shift is doing for it, but that's enough of the circle tool. Hollow doesn't work, obviously. Mixer should work. Brush size should work. Onto the cylinder tool. This works the same as a circle. As you can see, there's not the preview, but it does let you build an open space. So you can make a circle tool just the same. Probably has all the same problems as the circle tool. But then you get a third click where you can add the height. And then boom, you've got a cylinder. One thing I don't know, since the hollow tool does not work, is do you get a cylinder with a top and bottom, or do you get a hole? Not sure. On to the second to last one, we have the ellipsoid. Again, no preview in open space, and you cannot build an open space. But if you look at something, now you can build an open space. So that's a new one. Still no preview though, unless if you actually do the first click, then you see the preview. And again, you can't do the second click unless if you're looking at something. And then it does let you both build and see the preview in open space. And similarly, you can hold control, you can do the block mixing, you can do the brush size, you can, I'm sure, do the paste, although I didn't actually test that with everything, so let's just do that for fun here. Yeah, I mean, obviously it looks a little bit weird. I don't know why you would paste a circle of these things. Okay, I think that is good for the ellipsoid. Now onto the polygon. This one has up to 8 points. It wasn't clear to me at first how to do up to 8 points, but I figured it out now. Let's just do it this way. You can make a triangle. Then if you use the scroll wheel, now you can see target set up to 4. Boom. 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. A little bit jank. Sometimes it does like to hop dimensions, it seems. You do have to also reset the amount of target points every time, and if you do set it up to 8, you cannot go back down. So we're locked in at 8 now. If we just click one, you can only cancel by opening the wheel and closing it, but if we do that, now we're back to 3. Obviously you could just switch tools, come back, now you're at 3. But if we do an 8 and just draw an octagon a bit more slowly this time, still clearly not perfect. I don't exactly know what the dealio is with the octagon tool, but also I'm not sure how many people really are going to be building octagons, but obviously if it's here, it should work. But the polygon, at least, or triangle tool is definitely the most useful, I think, especially if you're doing like Star Destroyer type triangle hauls where you need to go, back a certain amount, over a certain amount, and down. You can get a nice hull panel pre-shaped with the triangle tool. So that is definitely an extremely useful one. Again, hollow doesn't work. Brush size should work. Color mixer should work. I haven't tested each individual thing, but pasting should work. You can feel free to test all that on your own. But even if it doesn't work right now, it should be fixed in the future. But I think that is... Oh, I should mention the Polygon tool does have a working preview. The 4 circle curvy ones do not. These 4 do. And even though Box has the preview doesn't work. So anyway, I think that is all for the build tools as they are currently added. They should eventually work as advertised once the theoretical fix is coming. But even as is, and they're currently limited capacity, they are still very useful, especially the triangle tool here. Seems extremely useful to me. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers this update. In terms of other general news, I know that I opened ship showcase videos, like I'd show off people's ships in December. I thought I was going to make one during January, try and at least do one a month. As you can see, that didn't happen. But we're going to pump out the ones in queue for February. I'm going to film one right after this. And they should be up this weekend. Fingers crossed. But if you do want to see your ship showcased in a video where I just kind of walk through it and ramble, I'm not really a raider kind of person. I don't have those kind of qualifications. But I'm at least going to show off and just kind of talk about what I like as I'm going through it, or what I think I would have done differently. If you want to see that, let me know, and I will check out your ship. I think that pretty much covers the news. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.